I'm
All right.
supposed to be good at it, but I never succeeded.
I'll get your
Yeah.
chapter 6 title card done up.
All right. So yes, this is I think this is session 45, if I remember correctly, of Mask of Nyarlathotep. You guys last time confronted the cult of the Bloody Tongue at the Mountain of the Black Wind in Kenya. Due to some phenomenally lucky rolls at the right time, you guys managed to eliminate two major threats pretty much right off. I think it was like back-to-back critical successes from Alvin and Miles. I think dropped both the spawn of Nyarlathotep and the sorceress before they even got a chance to do anything. So
Thankfully.
some absolute clutch rolls there. And then it was just mopping up with the cultists with the help of the army, and you guys have successfully completed the ritual for the Eye of Light and Darkness and sealed this ritual site. So you are confident now that you have stopped the very worst outcome between agreements you made in London and sealing the gateway here in Kenya as well as one in Egypt. According to Evelyn, the world is probably not going to end. It's still likely to be very, very bad should you fail, but not world-ending bad. Which in Call of Cthulhu is a win. But you guys have set your sights on Australia next. The map that you found in the throne room of the Bent Pyramid indicated a gate spot in the Great Sandy Desert in Western Australia. You're not exactly sure where, but you do know from your time in New York that your friend Professor Carter spoke with another professor there about some sort of some strange pillars that were found in the desert. A gentleman named Professor Cowes from the Sydney University. He is still in New York, but you guys do know that he is from the University of Sydney. So you've got a couple of leads there. Also, the Randolph Shipping Company, which seems to be headquartered in Darwin, Australia, was responsible for shipping a bunch of things for the cult. Artifacts, strange mechanical devices, a variety of mythos-related things have all been shipped through Randolph Shipping. But with that, it is the very last day of July, 1925, and you guys are making your preparations to leave Kenya. And we'll turn it over to any last minute things you guys want to do before you set sail.
I think you guys wanted to speak to the general.
Yeah,
Eugene.
if that's all right with you guys, I'd like to have a talk with him. I mean, he gave us a hand that he should at least get information about what happened, and I think that maybe he knows other people from his select group, and maybe some of them are in Australia and could give us a hand.
So yeah, you can easily get in touch with Captain, not General, but Captain Montgomery at the fort in Nairobi. He is more than eager to what happened. I mean, his men have returned and they've told some stories, but he's interested to see what details they might be missing.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, Captain Montgomery.
Well,
At least wanted to tell you that we succeeded. there was any cost for that, but we managed to pull through.
Well, it's unfortunate to lose. It's always unfortunate to lose men, but at least we know that it was for a cause and not just thrown away for no reason.
How much are you comfortable about knowing?
Well, they told me that they had seen some strange things, that they had been accosted by wild animals, that the cult that operates in Kenya was significantly larger than we originally thought. They were relatively vague on any details. I don't think their minds fully comprehended the magnitude of what occurred.
Well, that's the thing that was put in front of them was hard to understand. But we managed to stop whatever the cult was doing. They managed to let the creature loose, but with the help of your man, that creature was killed.
We'll put some effort towards rounding up what we can of the remaining cultists, those that haven't gone into hiding. There's a lot of villages out there that will give them succor, but we'll keep tabs on it for sure.
One of the village nearby, your soldier can tell you about it, but everybody in that village was rounded up to sacrifice. Um, I would advise to be careful honoring in that village. There might be some remnant of the things they call for.
Understood. We'll see what we can do to eliminate any potential threat there.
Yeah, gunfire and dynamite was not enough to kill one of those things, but they seem to be content to be contained in that village.
Perhaps we'll simply establish a perimeter and warn people away.
Speaking of warning,
It's probably
we are setting sail to our next destination, and we're wondering if and I look around to the military encampment, setup is a singular outpost, or if we might find like-minded people that you know in Australia.
In Australia, there are military contingents there, of course. But if you're referring to individuals in the know, as it were, unfortunately, we do not. There might be some people here and there that have discovered things on their own, but nothing that's part of our organization. The country is simply too underpopulated.
I had to ask.
Of course. It is
we
quite
will probably need to find some assistance.
it is quite likely that depending on where you're going, you may find yourselves self-reliant, as it were.
I hear it is an unforgiving land that is, you need to be well prepared.
That is an understatement. The cities are fine. The port cities, especially. The mining camps get a little bit rougher. The cattle stations are largely independent-minded folks. Most of the interior is uninhabited by any civilized people.
You seem really knowledgeable about that area.
I spent some time there in my youth.
Is there anyone that during your time there that you think could lend us a hand? of any stretch of the imagination, whether it doesn't need to be men at arms, but like any kind of knowledge about the lay of the land would be useful. Someone that oftentimes when we get embroiled in these things, it's hard to know who to trust.
It was quite some time ago. I was a child when I lived there. I didn't pay much attention to such things. But many of the people are sort of down to earth fellows. So you should be able to find somebody. But I can't point you in any directions, unfortunately. It depends on where you're going as well. I mean, if you're going into the interior, you're going to want a guide. Somebody who's knowledgeable of the area. It's not like the jungles here.
You make it sound like the jungles here are so hospitable, sir.
Well, comparatively. We have less snakes here, I'll tell you that. Of course,
Yeah,
Australia.
I heard that the fauna of Australia is a bit hostile.
I don't think it's necessarily hostile. It's just dangerous. I mean, you can't blame an animal for defending its home, its nest, whatever it is that you happen to stumble into.
Well, one of the travelers I spoke with described it as the nature is creative. Well,
My understanding from reading is that there are a large number of venomous reptiles.
yeah, Miles was right. We're going to need every anti-poison we can find.
Just as a point of note for the players, in 1925, most antivenoms for the poisonous animals in Australia have not yet been invented.
Lovely.
Oh, I do not know it yet.
I'm sure there's a spell for that.
I'll probably, if they didn't find the book yet, I'll have them on to read.
Is the spell gentle repose? Because that would make sense.
But I do wish you luck. I wish I could provide more assistance, but that is outside my jurisdiction. Where are you headed to exactly?
Help us much. I just hope that I could give you a bit of closure on the event that happened here, but at least you know that it was not in vain.
Well, we have been at odds with the cult for quite some time. To know that their efforts here have been curtailed is, I hate to say, worth the sacrifice, but you know what I mean. Every good soldier wants to die for something worthwhile, and I think these men did.
Yeah, I hope those that survive can find a path to peace. Peace of mind, that is.
Of course. Well, you're welcome to stay here in the camp until you're ready to leave. Maybe safer in case
That's
there are
appreciated.
cultists who escape that have vengeance on their minds.
It might be just me and not anything, but I still feel the need to keep guards. Somebody watching over us while we sleep.
Best
That
practices.
might allow us to get a bit more. Yeah. No such thing as a safe. I think that covers for
All right. Oh, yay. I need to send me the chapter 6 thing so I can make sure to get that up for next game. right.
That was fast.
Is there anything else folks want to do here in Kenya before going to the ship?
I have one thing.
All right.
I'm looking through my notes, and I'm not clear on what we did with Endicott's body. I know that we wrapped it up so that it wouldn't get absorbed when we were fighting those revenants or whatever, but I didn't write down what we did. Did we bury him? Did we leave him with Joe, even though I know Joe doesn't give a rat's ass?
I believe you burned it.
Oh, okay.
Let me check.
Yeah, my notes don't say what we did with the body after wrapping it up.
Yeah, I think the intention was burning it, but I'm not completely sure.
We took his body back to the house. Um, that is the last note I have about his body.
Yeah, I was just saying we just had a chat with Joe, and then it was like toodaloo.
Yeah, we.
I mean, I mentioned that he should not bury it in case he would try to come back as his wife and kid were, but I don't know if the rest. I don't remember.
Yeah, mine just had that we took his body back to the house. His manservant's reaction was, "It's not my concern what one colonist does to another." And
Yep.
he decided he was going to sell anything in the house that he felt like selling.
Yep.
We took a few things, and in the morning, the guy was gone.
Right.
Yep.
That's it. We, as far as I know, we did not
We
do
just
anything.
buggered off. We didn't do anything. Because he was my friend, so I feel kind of bad. So I kind of want to send somebody there to take his body and like give him a proper funeral somewhere that I think would be safe to do that, so he doesn't come back as a zombie or something.
Would be a good idea.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
You could have him like buried, like not necessarily on the corrupted lands around his wildlife preserve, but like nearby in the wilds.
That'll work.
You can certainly make sure that that is taken care of. Right. Anything else folks want to do? All right. So the trip.
That was it for me.
Okay. So the trip to Australia by boat takes a while by steamer ship. You guys will have time on board the ship to do whatever it is you would like to do, whether it's just resting and relaxing, enjoying the salt spray in your face, reading books, practicing skills.
28 days
We
of
have an
shuffleboard.
on-call psychologist, right, that we can hire for this boat trip? Or some of our friends?
There is a psychologist that Miles has kind of taken under his wing and has brought along from Shanghai, I believe, or maybe Egypt.
No, Egypt.
Yeah. So there is a psychologist that you guys can talk over your troubles with if you so desire.
I think I'm gonna shop for more mental problems and try to read more books.
Okay. And as you travel, if anybody wants, you can either add a D4 to any 2 skills you don't already have improved, or a D10 plus 1 to a skill chosen. Sorry, D4 to any skill you have improved, or a D10 plus 1 to a skill of your choice.
We need the development pay for that, right?
Yeah, I will open that in 1 second.
Sorry, we can
Is
add
there
D4 to a skill.
like, okay, sorry, Out of the game, I don't know what I'm gonna ask, but is there a language spoken by the indigenous people in Australia?
Nothing that you're going to be able to learn on the boat.
Yeah, no
It is.
books about that. Eh?
No, it is a strictly oral tradition.
Yeah. Okay, that makes
So,
sense. I just didn't know.
sorry, I stepped away for a sec. Is it a D4 to any skill?
It's a D4 plus 1 to any 2 skills, or a D10 plus 1 to any 1 skill you haven't already done.
Oh, one you haven't done at all yet?
Correct. If it's at the base chance, you can develop it by a D10 plus 1.
Well, I'm open to suggestions on what people think I should get, because I've bumped a few things, but I have a lot still at base. I just don't know if the things that are still at base are super useful.
Do you have anything that would make us survive in the horrible wasteland that we're going into that is the Australian outback?
I have Natural World 50, and I don't have Desert Survival.
Is that a skill?
Yep.
I have Jungle Survival.
I don't even have any kind of survival on my sheet. So,
And
yeah,
that's because you're a big city slicker.
apparently. Hence my first question. Who the hell is going to keep an eye out on us so we don't step on snakes on our journey?
In theory, me, I suppose, but
I mean,
yeah,
It's
I can
quite
go.
I have survival desert on my sheet, but I have survival desert, not that desert though.
Please tell me
Usually
it says
there.
not that desert on your sheet.
There's two S's in it.
Survival dessert.
I can last on
uh,
maraschino cherry forever.
I think I know which two I'd like to increase. So I will increase my firearms and my first aid.
But they have to be skills we've not upgraded at all, correct?
It's a D10 plus 1 if you haven't upgraded it, and a D4 plus 1 if you have already done so.
Ah, okay.
Because I don't think I'm going to get my hands on a handgun.
It depends whether you want to go to the store and buy one or not.
I don't think I'm going to be able to buy a handgun in Australia.
You would be surprised.
I mean, maybe, depending on what store we went to. I'm sure somewhere there's someone willing to sell one, but um,
As racist as it sounds in this time in Australia, as long as you are not Asiatic or alien, uh, you can get a
God,
license.
alien being from there, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good God. Um, as long as you're one of the criminals that was shipped in. What?
All right.
Yeah, it seems to me the gun laws in Australia. I mean, they're decent-ish considering it's the 1920s, but they started to crack down in like the 1930s.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
as a
then even
result of
more
player
later
characters.
on. Maybe. Still, I think I would be better off increasing my rifle slash shotgun.
I mean, it's like DuckTales, right? We're the main characters in DuckTales, rewriting history. That could be us.
That's
Oh
right.
God, we're doing something with history, that's for sure.
Um, gonna do something that is a bit more roleplay than useful, but I wonder if dreaming count as a skill I have upgraded or not.
And no, and you won't be able to hear.
Okay.
I guess you can only practice dreaming in Lang.
In the Dreamlands.
So how do I?
So whatever skill it is, roll the appropriate die, and then on your development tab, the furthest, the rightmost gray column is where you put in like experience.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chris, what's the difference between psychoanalysis and psychology again?
Psychology is determining whether or not somebody's lying, kind of like insight in D&D, and psychoanalysis is basically sanity first aid.
I'm going to take psychoanalysis.
That's good because I have like a 78 in psychology. Wow. Rolled the absolute minimum. Great. Okay.
You do get to raise two skills of the skills you already have.
Right.
So if I want psychoanalysis, I roll a d10.
D10 plus 1.
And first aid.
How do I add the +1 when I click the d10? I just go into the box and type +1?
Yep.
Yep.
The minimum.
Batting 1,000.
Wow. That'll be great later on tonight, I'm sure.
So
There
I
we
had
go.
4. I had 4 to
I think I'm
the
gonna
rightmost
raise
gray box.
brawl.
Yep. Sorry.
I mean, it couldn't hurt.
I think I'm gonna
I
raise.
mean, it might hurt.
No, it's better than nothing.
I think I'm gonna raise demolition and brawl.
I don't think there's a doubt for me at all. Submachine gun.
So that was demolitions and brawl. Do you want me
Yep.
to roll those for you, York, or can you get them?
Just a second, I'm gonna reload sound and see if I can roll it. And it's a D4. And a D4. And
Okay, I got those added to your sheet. I don't know how much
Great.
functionality you have with your tablet, so.
Well, that's the thing I can do, but it has to be in the part of the screen where it's shown.
Have
Gotcha.
you tried
Like
a
if the
different
skill is
browser?
out of bound, I cannot move my sheet to go to one.
Have you tried a different browser?
Yeah.
No, I have not. I should turn it browser.
Yeah, Foundry doesn't work real well with tablets.
Yeah, but
Right now I'm on
some,
Chrome, but I could try Firefox.
yeah, or Pigeon
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, Foundry doesn't play well with Firefox like on a PC, so it parts of it depend on like underlying Chrome architecture. Works well with Edge. All right, so the travel to Australia. I mean, it's long and it's after everything it's kind of tedious, but in a kind of in a good way. You know, it's nice to have this little interval where like, you know, you're not dodging cults and suspicious of everybody that looks at you sideways, and you know, encountering strange monsters and like ruins and abandoned villages and evil priestesses and all of that stuff. It's nice to just kind of like take a breather, kind of
Put our
like
psychoses on a leash.
put your psychoses on a leash and kind of like connect with normalcy. Like dinner around a bunch of people and shuffleboard and skeet shooting off the stern of the ship and all of those kind of like mundane activities kind of help you remember just why it is you're doing this, because if you fail, all of this is probably going to go away.
Chris, does it feel surreal? Like, because we've had, in that sense of people go to war and they come back and it doesn't feel the same.
I think for Alvin it probably feels fine given your like rock solid grasp of sanity.
Yeah. Okay.
But for everybody else, there are moments where you kind of like have a little bit of difficulty kind of distinguishing, like, is this what it's supposed to be like? Like, is reality really this mundane? But Alvin's like, nope, we're good. I mean,
They have hats in 3 different sizes. This is a great place to be.
Even your sanity.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I wanted to mention. In the jungle, Eugene lost his fez, so he's trying to find a new hat
Trying to
and
find.
has been trying to see if it can make work in the other ones recently. So he's shuffling through different hats right now.
So every couple of days, Eugene has a different style of hat. He's like, "What do you think?"
Yeah, can I make
Alvin's
this work?
only answer is wider brim every time he asks.